Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Chosen Subject podcast. The podcast that started because I couldn't pick one subject, so I got the guest to pick the subject. Today we are joined by Arlo, and his chosen subject was No More Jockeys and Peter Capaldi's era of Doctor Who. Please remember to follow Arlo on social media. His Twitter is No More Otters. Also, you can follow me on social media, as always. I am Sam Rick on Twitter and Sam James-Neal on Instagram. You can also follow the podcast on social media. That is chosen_subject on Twitter and chosensubject.podcast on Instagram. I hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Chosen Subject podcast. Welcome. You seem like you're enjoying it so far.
I am. This is great fun.
But by the end, you might not have the same opinion. So I'm gonna check if you've enjoyed your time at the end. So I always ask the same questions to everyone at the start of this podcast and the start of the other podcast as well. What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show is, well, contrary to the subject I've chosen for you today, is Taskmaster.
Taskmaster's really good.
It is. It is. It's good fun, isn't it?
The new lineup. Have you seen the new lineup?
Oh my God, that is
So good.
it's a powerful one. I've
It's
got
so
no idea
good.
how it's gonna go. It's so good.
I'm so excited for May. Like May Martin. I'm so excited for May Martin.
They're gonna be brilliant. They're gonna be brilliant.
I've been like saying to everyone that like has talked to me about Taskmaster for so long, being like my dream contestant on that show is May Martin. I think that they will do so good. And now they are on it and I'm like, here, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. But other than that, I'm really bad with names, but there's a guy from Ghosts who's also in Stathlet's Flats. I was not expecting him to be on it.
No, I know that a
Um,
lot of people have been wanting them for a while, but I wasn't expecting Frankie Boyle. I'll say that.
yeah.
Yeah,
My opinions on Frankie Boyle is quite odd.
yeah.
I think it's because I've not really watched him. I've kind of just got this thing in my head being like, I don't like Frankie Boyle. I'm never gonna watch him. Never actually sat down and watched anything that Frankie Boyle has ever done. And yet I've decided in my head I hate him.
Yeah. I mean, I've got quite a complex relationship with, well, I've never met the man, but in my head I've got quite a complex understanding of whether or not I like him or not. And
Fair
it's a
enough.
bit like I'm looking forward to seeing what he brings to the table in Taskmaster, but on the other hand, he's had a few moments where I'm just like, yeah, you cannot do that. No.
I feel like if he does any of that, it's because it's Taskmaster. I
Yeah.
feel like it will be cut out or someone will be like, you can't do that. Like
Yeah.
one of the contestants will be like, you can't do that. Especially May. Like May is so like May's like if you do something that's like not okay, May won't just sit there. May will actually like speak out and be like, no.
Mhm.
So it should be I think Frankie Boyle and May being together might not I think saying work well will be bad, but like Frankie does anything, May won't just sit there.
Yeah.
Um I actually love May so much. So much. Um, Apart from Taskmaster, have you got any other favorite TV shows?
Hmm. Let's have a long, hard think about this one. Um, quite like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I wonder why. I wonder would that have any relevance to what's coming up?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun. I'll say that a lot this episode. It is good fun.
You're gonna hate me for this. You're really, really, really gonna hate me for this.
Oh no.
And that's coming from someone that has a Dalek right there.
Oh
And there's another Dalek over there. And I think there's another Dalek in the hallway. So, like, I've got Daleks everywhere.
no. Hmm.
Um, I used to watch it when I was really young. I used to watch it when I was quite young. And then I really like the show. It's really good. It's really good. My opinions on that haven't changed. It's a really good show. It's
Hmm.
just, like the show that's like on your list to watch, but it's so long that you need to like set a week where you have to like
Oh
you
God, yeah,
just watch that show. I
absolutely.
watched like the first two series and then kind of like not lost interest. I just kind of lost time to watch it because there's so many of it.
Yeah,
But like it's so good. It's so good.
yeah,
I
it's
think
really
I think it's
expansive.
amazing.
It's brilliant, but there's just a shit ton of it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I want to watch it though, but I just need to find. We have like an online week at college this week, so I might, instead of paying attention to do my work, might just watch Doctor Who.
You know what? There are worse things you could do with your time, like doing your
It's
work.
it's like an exam week, so like a large amount of the people that are normally in lessons won't be there because it'll be in exams.
Mhm.
So we're not going to be doing anything that's like of too much value. It'll probably be like go and revise. So Doctor Who.
What better? What better could you do with your time?
I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, but then I'm gonna message you like midway through, and be like, "Oh my god, this happened! I'm so excited! This happened!"
Really? Wow. I
And
had no
then
idea.
and then I'm gonna ask you questions about what's gonna happen, expecting you not to tell me, and be like, "No, watch the show." But then ask it in such a way that like you might actually end up telling me.
I mean, I might just tell you out of spite.
Yeah, I mean, I
Just
might
be a bit
find
of a
out what's
ditch.
happening. I might find out what's happening in this, like the entire thing through these questions. I haven't read them too much yet, as I didn't write them. But what I have read of them, they're pretty good. Um, I'm just admitting that I don't even write my own questions.
Oh no. No, Sam.
I mean,
No, don't
okay,
admit that.
I wrote half of these. I wrote half of these. I just
Okay.
didn't write the Doctor Who ones because I'm not too knowledgeable.
Ah.
I write a lot of my questions though. I write a lot of them. Um, Anyway, moving on. What is your favorite movie?
Right, I've got quite an interesting divide between what kind of films I'm interested in.
Okay.
I really, really like very certain animated films, but I also really like horror films. So if I had to pick one from each of them, for some reason we're going with Final Destination 3 and Wall-E, which is, I mean, like, only a madman could have like such a divide between cute little robots and then masses and masses of death.
I mean, it's good to have like different tastes in music movies. Um, because like then you're not just watching the same. I think I've got a large range of movies that I like. I mean, maybe not that
Mhm.
large, but like I mean, I like Fight Club. Have you ever seen Fight Club?
Who hasn't seen Fight Club?
Right. So good, right? My favorite, one of my favorite,
Yes.
if not my favorite movie. Which is weird coming from an Adam Sandler fan. Like, but then I also think that like Inside Out was a really good film.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like trying to think of like another good like animation film because they're all really good. Really like Garfield.
Of course you like Garfield. You strike me as a Garfield person as well. That's the thing.
If anyone's gonna like Garfield, it's gonna be me.
It's gonna be you.
I watched both Stuart Little movies today, back to back.
Why would you do that? Why?
Okay. So my friend came over at like 10 and like I invited him over so we could take photo for the podcast and stuff. So I could be like, look at this cool podcast. I host this podcast. And we had like hours free because I didn't realize how long it would take to take photos. It literally took like 5 minutes compared to what I thought it was going to take. So we had like 2 hours of, well, 4 hours of nothing. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make you watch Stuart Little. First, Stuart Little finished, and then I started going, Stuart Little 2, Stuart Little 2. They
Oh
told me to
no!
shut up and threatened to leave, and then I googled because I didn't know that Stuart Little was on Netflix, so I typed in Stuart Little onto Netflix again because it kind of came up in my adverts, like being like, you should watch this, and Stuart Little 2 was on it, so I made my friend watch Stuart Little 2 back to like to the movie back to back.
Oh no! Oh God! Imagine being the poor kids who got adopted, who got Stuart. They were a
Yeah,
mouse was adopted over them.
yeah. I
Devastating stuff.
but yeah, no, about your films, I haven't seen Wally in ages.
Well, do you want to see him? Serious.
I That's so cute. That's really cute. That's
The
really
best
cute.
£5 I've ever spent in my life. I got him at the Disney store in Livingston, and he sits on my desk. He's brilliant. He just sits there and stares at me while I work. He stares at you now.
Yeah. Um, it's a good, from what I can remember, it's a good film.
Oh, it's a brilliant film.
I
Absolutely
need to watch it again.
masterpiece. Please do. If you don't, I'll attack you. Please do.
Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Um, taking that as a threat and I'll actually get it. I'll actually watch it.
Good.
So like the reason I ask these questions is because I'm trying to find movies and stuff to watch. So looks like I do have to watch like them films now. And I will watch them. It's not like I have to, I would like to.
You have to, or
Um
else.
like I feel like the films would give me nostalgia and it's such a nice feeling.
Hmm.
So I'll watch them, I'll watch them. Um do you have a favorite book?
Um, my favorite book is, and this is no surprise to man nor beast, it's Contacts by Mark Watson. I have two copies of this book because I lost one, and I found it the day after I got the second copy. I haven't gotten him to sign it yet, and it's a big yet, because I will track him down eventually and get him to sign them. Um, which sounds vaguely threatening.
I found the
Um,
title for the episode, I can tell that, I can say that.
oh no. But it's a very interesting read because I hadn't read any of Mark's stuff beforehand, and that was kind of like my first introduction to his writing style, and it's really captivating. I mean, the characters are really memorable, and you get really invested in them, which is what I like to see in a book. Um, because like you can have the most interesting plot in the world, but if the characters are shit, what's the point? Um, so if you are in a bookstore and you see Contact by Mark Watson, I hope there is a little voice in your head that says that sounds like the Scottish one, that sounds like me, and threatens you with the most intense profanity you can imagine, to peer pressure you into buying the book.
So there's like common answers with TV shows and books on this podcast. So with TV shows, it's always like Taskmaster. Everyone's like, my favorite show is Taskmaster, which is fair enough. It's a really, really good show. And recently, the most common like said book is that one. And I haven't read it. I haven't read it yet.
Oh
I
no!
don't own it. So it looks like I'm getting on Amazon today and buying
Yes,
it.
you are. Yes, you are.
I feel like I have to do it now.
I will make my way down to your location and I will threaten you from outside your window to get the book.
Okay, so I'm getting threatened to get the book and to watch um Wally.
Yes, that's how
Yeah.
I work.
Okay. I'm definitely not scared of this episode anymore. Definitely not getting scared of this episode.
Good. That's the plan.
The thing is, right, I go to Scotland like once a year, if not more. So you probably could hunt me down.
I mean, it's less could and more will.
Yeah.
Um, like if I will know as soon as you cross the border that you are in my country, and I will just enter primal Celtic hunting mode.
I'm a bit scared.
There's only room for one Scottish one, and it cannot be you. Yeah,
I'm a bit terrified now.
good. Let's keep it that way.
I've never been threatened on my own podcast before.
Well,
And
this
it's a
is a start. This is a start for me as well, because the only podcast I've ever been on is Feliz Navicast,
yeah.
and historically, I didn't threaten Kathy then, so I need to threaten you now.
Yeah.
I need to fill in the quota. Come on.
It's a bit scary the fact that you're threatening me when I've got like questions.
Hmm.
Because everyone hates me when they do the questions, not before. So if you already hate me, then I'm a bit worried.
I mean, I'm already making progress on that, Mark. Come on.
Moving along so I don't get more scared. What is your favourite genre of music?
Quite on brand for the threatening that's just happened. I quite like very heavy music.
Yes.
Yes, I am historically a very big fan of the band Bring Me the Horizon. Um, I saw them in Glasgow last year. Best experience going. They were brilliant. Cried my eyes out. Watched Taskmaster in the hotel. Boom. Night of my life. Um, yes, I very much like very heavy music. I recently, well, not recently, as in like in the last year, I've gotten really into the band You Me at Six as well, who are quite interlinked with Bring Me the Horizon. And I mean, some of their music, there's a lot of range to it. It's quite heavy, but it's also like really, they have really upbeat songs right next to some of their really heavy shit on the same album, which is a bit of a tone, a bit of a shock to the system when you go from like I'm going to kill everyone that I love to oh look at me, I'm such a happy boy, yippee!
Yeah.
I'm so happy. I'm not going to murder my family today. Yay!
Um, I haven't heard of the second band, but I heard of the first. I haven't listened.
Oh god.
Right, I'm just. This is becoming a thing of me today, isn't it? Really, I haven't listened to them in a while. I just need to accept that, like, I really like Doctor Who, and I haven't watched it in a while. I really like Wally, but I haven't watched it in a while. I need to start getting back into things that I actually like.
Yes, you do. You need to start enjoying things more.
But yeah, no, they were really, really good. They were really, really well. They are really good. I don't want to say they were. They are. So the next question is. So I keep getting told to remove this question. So let me know if I should. Um, what is your favorite question that you have ever asked someone or have been asked?
No, this is a good one. I don't know why people would want to remove it. This is a good question. This is
Apparently, it's
unique. It's
difficult to
interesting.
answer. Apparently, it's difficult to answer.
It's thought provoking, but alas, I do have an answer for this one.
Okay, okay.
Um, I was asked on, so the time was Edinburgh 2022. It was August. I was on my way home. I was on the train from Edinburgh to a town near where I live. And on said train, I was rummaging around my bag, full of flyers. A man came up to me. He looked properly presentable. A man came up to me and asked, "Excuse me, do you have any laminator pouches? You look like the sort who would have laminator pouches." And that has stuck with me for 4 months because apparently I look like I have laminator pouches. Do I do I don't has he seen what I have in my bag? Why do I look like you're like office casual who'd have laminating pouches in his bag? So that is the answer to that question. My favorite question I've ever been asked: do you have laminator pouches in your bag? You look the sort who would.
That was not. I was not expecting that, but I love it. I love it.
Oh, no, I haven't really shared that story with many
Um,
people.
I don't know if that's a better title for the podcast. You look like someone to have laminator pouches.
You look the sort to have laminator pouches on you, young Arlo. Wonderful stuff.
I think it's a great title. I think it's a
Yeah,
great title.
that's a banger title.
So, right, okay. I want to know some context about this, like when you were asked this. Train, how busy was it?
I mean, it wasn't even that busy. It was like your standard Edinburgh to moderately small town in Fife train. Like it wasn't a massively packed train. In fact, it was barely busy to begin with. I had like a four seat bit to myself where I was just rummaging around my bag, and then the guy comes up to me and asks if I have any on me, and I don't even know why he wanted them. Like, you're not really supposed to be laminating things on the train. Also, why are you asking a 17-year-old flyer if he has laminator pouches on him?
Yeah.
Why would I?
You want to get off a train. I don't know anyone that's laminating stuff on a train, so surely you gotta use them laminated like things after you get off the train. Which at that point isn't there a shop where you can buy them.
Yeah, you can get laminator pouches. You can order them. You don't need to ask me if I've got them.
They literally sell them at like Tesco, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, there's shit tons of Tesco's. You
Yeah.
can get laminator pouches. It isn't hard. They're relatively inexpensive. Hell, you could go to a corner shop where there's a post office and they have laminator pouches in there. You don't
Yes.
ask. You don't ask me on the train. Oh, excuse me, pal. You got any laminator pouches? You look the sort who would have laminator pouches. Thanks, pal. Aye. On yourself. Come on. Ask me again. Ask me one more time if I have laminator pouches. I don't have my entire laminating setup in my bag. I'm not carrying around a portable laminator like some weird stationary weirdo. I'm looking for my phone charger. It's no in here, pal. I've got flyers galore. My phone charger's no in here. I've not got a fucking laminator. Sam's dying. Mate. The laminator story is going down a treat. I'll put this in my debut stand-up set, I reckon, if this is the reaction
Honestly,
I'm gonna get.
honestly do. Honestly do.
Oh god.
No, but like
Um
seriously, who carries around just like that kind of thing? Oh, laminators, like the bit that actually does the laminating, not the pouches, like the actual bit that does it, quite heavy. I thought you were about to get a laminator.
yeah, this is my laminator.
You really, you are the type to have a laminator pouch.
So you are the type to have a laminator pouch, he cries. But laminator pouches are the things that go into the laminator. They're not the
Yeah, yeah.
laminator itself. Why would I have a packet of laminator pouches on me? Who's
Um,
carrying them about?
I was gonna give you an answer to that, but I don't think I've got one.
I don't think you should, otherwise I would attack you.
I'm a bit scared to go to Scotland now. Might be going to Edinburgh next year. That's out.
Please. Please.
Definitely. Like I was gonna go to Mac and then Edinburgh. I'm not doing either now. No, I just hope like that I'm not gonna get beaten up. Bit scary.
I think that the two of us, Cafe Rose Rivette and esteemed esteemed lad, esteemed radio boy, Louis Bennington, should meet up in Edinburgh. Should all go to Edinburgh for a start and have a disjointed game of No More Jockeys at Pleasance Courtyard, and the loser gets beaten up.
No, because I've only won one game, and that was when we were all meant to be out anyway. Because it was so late, we weren't just like we stopped keeping track, and I got second, and I think you won that one. I will be the one getting beaten. I need to get my head in gear because like I could win if I knew people. But when you know like two comedians, when you know like 10 comedians and Jonathan from down the street, you don't really know anyone.
Your move is to always just say no more fictional, and then no more fictional or no more comedians, and then fuck the rest of us over. Because I'll be in the wings waiting to say Penelope Pitstop, and then you throw that out the bag, and I want to climb through my phone screen and just attack you. That's our friendship, ladies and gentlemen. Genders and non-genders. I cannot be trusted.
So, okay, no longer going to Edinburgh. I'm no longer going to be playing No More Jockeys. And
no. Come on.
I'm in fear that you're going to beat me up.
How can I beat you up? I'm in Scotland.
You can order someone to go to my house. I'm giving you ideas. This is not good.
Don't tempt me, because I will. I have a Wiimote.
You're gonna take that? Are you taking that to Edinburgh? I can just imagine you walking around.
The Wiimote to Edinburgh.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take the Wiimote to Edinburgh?
I think it'd be iconic. Yes.
I'll take the Wiimote to Pleasance Courtyard with me and see where that gets me.
Hello, Will Duggan.
I'd get bullied. Yes, people would think I'm in the act.
Hello, Will Duggan. Yes, nice to meet you again. Yes. Hello. Yes. No? Yes, I've got a Wii remote. Don't ask questions. Yes, hello. That's how I talk to comedians.
The man DM'd me yesterday when I was having a bit of a crisis over middle-aged comedians, asked if I was okay, and then said, they're not worth it.
Will Duggan knows. Will Duggan knows.
Will Duggan.
Will Duggan knows. At least he knows. Have you read anything interesting recently? Well, read is like a term, but like listened, heard, saw.
Anything interesting? I don't actually have anything interesting that I've heard, unfortunately. To be fair, I haven't really heard much other than like the sound of my own breathing for the past few days. Do I have any fun facts? I have a fun fact. If the listener / visual listener like a fun fact, I think you would. Hello, visual listener. I have a fun fact for you. Did you know that sea otters have the thickest fur on Earth? And this is to keep them both buoyant, which is a brilliant word. I love that word, buoyant, and to keep them warm. Because you're spending all this time out on the seas, you're gonna get a bit chilly, and you're gonna want to stay above the water. So that's what they do. That's an interesting thing I've heard. But I heard it months ago, in fact years ago, and I'm now relaying this to the listener / visual listener. There's your fun fact.
How does it feel being the last person to be on the Chosen Subject Series 1?
I mean, it's an honour. It's an honour to have been selected for such a daunting and impressive task, I'll be honest with you. But I believe that I can make this an enjoyable episode strictly by going a little bit more Scottish as the episode progresses. So if I can keep this up and then go full Glasgow towards the end, I should be alright, all things considered.
Oh no, I used to live in Glasgow. I'm just ready to get offended.
Imagine what happens if you get any Glaswegian listeners. You are to be attacked. Well, I'm going to be attacked as well. Way.
No, because you're like got a Scottish accent. I don't have the Scottish accent anymore.
My
Just that.
sibling has a very similar accent to me, but people at our school apparently think she sounds English.
Oh,
No, 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 I'm not English at all. I would drop kick you if you called me English.
English.
Right. I'm getting the atlases out. I'm getting the atlases out, and I'm getting the IP dropper, and I will find your immediate location. In fact, I'm gonna message Cafe Rose Rivette. Hello, Cafe. Please give me Sam's address. I'm on my way and rapidly approaching.
Do you have any hobbies?
Why, yes, I have quite a few hobbies. It just so
Okay.
happens I play an ungodly amount of Pokemon to the point where it's getting quite concerning. And what I have started doing is I'm creating my own. As you may know, well, you may know, hello, listener, you might know, if you are aware of who I am, I'm a bit of an artiste.
You are.
So, to combine my love for artistry and my love for Pokemon, I've started creating a Pokemon region where every Pokemon is based on a comedian, which is a horrifying concept.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. Oh my god, I love it.
So the starters are based on Ed, James, and Nish, and the legendaries are based on Greg Davis, and I haven't decided the other one, probably Rod Gilbert.
Okay.
So that I think you listeners would enjoy it when I get it finished. So keep those peepers peeped. Peepers peeped. That's not the phrase. Have I just coined an entire new phrase? Oh Christ.
Yeah.
Keep those eyes open for that.
I love it.
Hello.
I love it so much. I actually love it. I actually love it.
Yes. You shall enjoy it greatly once it's finished.
Wait, how long have you been working on those?
But 6 months. Just getting concepts down and deciding on types. And I've got a little sketchbook full of sketch concepts that will be refined, and I will create a Pokedex full of Pokemon based on comedians.
I was half expecting to be like, oh, a week. Not 6 months. 6 months is so long. You have put your
I've
heart
been
and soul
working.
into this, and I love it.
I really have. I mean, I've had the Taskmaster Fantasy AU where I basically like throw all the Taskmaster contestants into this horrifying like Hunger Games esque fantasy world, and they're all different like Dungeons and Dragons races and creatures and stuff like that. And I've been working on that for about 2 or 3 years now, but it's just never seen the light of day. See, this is what happens with me. I'll make an entire like complex alternate version of reality, and then either nothing comes of it, or I work on it so much that I start failing my exams. It's a double-edged sword because I have fun, but my grades don't.
I know exactly what you mean. I've been working on a Ed Gamble board game. Um, that's like based on his new tour, and it's like completely like I've made it like it's all of my ideas just from like the jokes and the posters and stuff that he's posted since having the tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been working on that since he first announced it, which was like midway through last year. And I don't think it's ever gonna, like, you're the first person I've told that I'm doing it. Like, I don't think it's ever actually gonna make it anywhere. Like, I don't think I'm like I might just leave it at this conversation kind of thing. So like I completely know what you mean. I've been spending
Yeah.
so much time on that as well. I think I just wanted something to do, so I was like, I'm gonna work on a project, and then I gamble posted about going on tour. Um, but I make like a gamble, and I've made Jack Barry, and I've made James Acast like monopolies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for all of the comments to just make fun of me for the way that I say that word.
What, Monopoly?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Monopoly.
That's fine.
Thank you.
See, if I
Thank
was
you.
to say it,
Thank you.
Monopoly,
Thank you. Thank you.
Monopoly. Oh, sorry, let me just roll my dice and in this Monopoly game, and I will. Oh, I think I'll buy the railroad. Oh, yes, I think I'll pay my taxes. And you say it normally. If I was
Thank
to
you.
say it weirdly, like Monopoly, I'd get arrested.
But about that question that I asked you before,
Oh,
completely like well, not the hobby one, the one before that. Read anything interesting recently? That's another one that people have told me to get rid of.
oh, no, 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 no,
You
no.
enjoy you like that question?
I like all of the questions. I
Okay.
like this podcast. I'm a fan of this podcast.
You're a fan of this podcast.
I'm a fan of the podcast. Will Duggan goes on the podcast. I'm immediately a fan.
I've never heard someone say they like this podcast before, and I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Normally everyone's like, I hate this podcast. I hate it.
It's this fucking podcast. It's so shit.
But
It's
I
so
think with you, you hate me and not the podcast. Yep.
yeah. Can't stand you, but the podcast's great.
Fair
That
enough.
is
Thank you.
for the listener. For the listener, that is slash joking for legal reasons. Because I do believe that if I was to say that, this podcast wouldn't be going out. It'd be attacked.
Um, right. Anyway, moving on. Why did you pick the subject? Or the subjects?
Subject. Whoa. Way. Shall I introduce what my subjects are to the viewer?
Yeah.
So, dear listener slash visual listener, my subjects, which I'll admit, probably not going to do the best on these, but it'll be
I
a
think
good
you got
laugh,
it.
won't it? I
I
think
think you
I've
got
got
it.
this. We've got this in the bag.
Yes.
Old early bones. My subjects, dear listener, are esteemed web series and all around fun time, No More Jockeys,
Fun time.
and Doctor Who. Eyes
Yeah.
emoji. Eyes emoji.
Eyes emoji.
Eyes emoji.
I've never used the eyes emoji.
You haven't lived until you've used the eyes emoji. You feel like you're
Okay.
living on the edge.
I'll watch Wally. I'll watch all of Doctor Who. And then I will use the eyes emoji.
Yes, that's 3 out of the 10 commandments.
What's the rest of them?
Well, you need to find laminator approaches.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. You need to win against me in a set of No More Jockeys,
That won't happen, but okay.
and you also need to come to Scotland.
I've been to Scotland, but I'll go again.
You need to come again.
Yeah. Might be going to Edinburgh. So, well, with the amount of threats that I'm getting, probably not, but
If you don't come to Edinburgh, I'll threaten you more.
right, back to the questions. Hello. Right, did I ask you why you chose this subject?
I think I'd gotten into explaining what my subjects were.
Okay, you haven't explained why. Okay, why?
I have chosen my subjects because they are things that I think I know a moderate amount about. And also because they were the only things that sprung to mind at the time.
Fair enough.
Because I mean I haven't been watching jockeys since the beginning. It's really been since about New Year's 2022. I started really heavily watching it. And then it kind of spiraled from that. And I went to Jockeys Live in Edinburgh, and now look at me. I'm the Jockeys mastermind. I've seen Mark Watson try and climb on a fridge while wearing a dress. I mean, that's highlight of my life.
I was going to ask for a story time and explain that, but you know what? It's better without it.
Is it though?
Maybe.
You've seen the pictures from Edinburgh Jockeys?
No.
God, the shit I've seen during that show. You know how you get like these pipettes for like sugar or salt or something like that.
Yeah.
How it's just a glass thing and it's got the spout at the top.
Yeah.
Well, Key managed to convince Mark to put wine in it and drink from it, and it didn't end well because he couldn't get the fucking wine out of it. What else? I suppose. I mean, I've been a fan of Doctor Who my entire life. It kind of fluctuates from being heavily invested to just having it on the sidelines while I hyper focus on whatever's currently on the mind.
Okay.
But it's always there somewhere. Recently, it's just kind of come back. But it was really, really strong from about 2013 till 2017 or 18. Historically, I can't count, so that's about 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Really, really strong period during that time. And it did come back recently, so why not do a podcast about it? Yippee!
So we do a weekly call that started originally as No More Jockeys and is now
Descends
okay.
into madness.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a good laugh. It's a great time with some great guys and Kathy.
Yeah. Great guys and Kathy.
And Kathy, whatever Kathy's Kathy.
Kathy's
That's as
Kathy.
best I can describe Kathy. Kathy is Kathy. And we are the big boys. The
We're
big
the big
boys.
boys.
3 big boys.
Big boy. Have you seen Ed Gamble's show? Have you seen Ed Gamble's show?
Yes.
Yeah,
Big
yeah, you know,
boys.
big boy.
The big boys.
Big boy. It's great. It's great guy, Kathy, and the big boys.
The big boys.
Oh, it was really weird. So like Louis was at my house for like a weekend and he was like in the bathroom or something. And I was literally stood outside the bathroom looking at a spider and it was like a massive spider. So I like went, big boy, it's a big boy. Forgetting that he was in the bathroom and it was like just outside. I was like, I literally was just standing outside the door being like, big boy, it's a big boy.
It's Sam's descent into madness.
But the thing is, I've been dating Louis for long enough that he just doesn't question it. It's like, yeah, that's Sam. That's
Sam,
Sam.
all right. Sounds about right.
I love that bit in his show. It's so good, so good. I'm now no longer going to be with like calling you the Scottish one though, referring to you as the Scottish one.
No. What am I now?
We're the big boys.
Oh.
Is there any other questions that I have for you? I don't think there is. Do you want to talk about No More Jockeys or right? Okay, I'm taking that as a right. Going a little rant about No More Jockeys.
I love jockeys. I love the game. It's a great game. It's great fun. It's good to play with your friends. It's good to watch. It's just such a good game. So much fun. So much fun. Because there's so much you can do with it. There's so many different like ways you can go with it. Do you want to do a full set? Do you want to do multiple sets? Do you want to do just a single game? You can do whatever you want, and you can watch whatever you want. You can like, because the series is itself are just like the same format, you can jump in at any time, and like context clues will give things away as to what place you are in the series. The players themselves, obviously I do have a favourite. I wonder who it could be.
I personally really like Tim Key.
I'm also quite a fan of Tim Key. He's quite a strange guy, Tim Key.
I recently watched a show with Tim Key.
Oh.
And it made me love and appreciate and like literally love Tim Key so much to the point where I want to meet him again and go.
You're great, aren't you? You're just a silly guy. You're just such a silly,
there was a show that he did with. I'm trying to get everyone to watch the show because no one seems to have watched it, and I think it's underrated. So there's a show that he did with comedian Liam Williams. I absolutely love Liam Williams so much. And it's called Please Like. Basically, he's called James Worm in it, and it's about YouTube and becoming like a famous YouTuber and stuff.
Mhm.
And he was like the person that like runs this business in YouTube. I think that's the best way of like describing it. Um, but he's just like such an asshole, and I love him for it.
I love that. I really liked him in The Witchfinder. I feel like
He
The
was
Witchfinder
good.
gets a
He was
shit
good in
ton of
that.
hate. He was
It was
so
it
good.
was good. It was
It
good.
was really solid. I loved his performance. I loved Daisy's performance. Just like he started out as such a hateable character, but then he develops and you grow sympathetic towards him, and his relationship with Daisy's character started to like develop as well, and that was just really good. He's a really solid actor, and he's really funny. I've met him briefly. I've met all of the players. One in more, one a lot more than the others.
Okay.
Um, I met Tim twice. One was outside Pleasance Courtyard when I was having a bit of a breakdown and had to
Oh.
have a sit down. And Tim Key came walking past in his iconic fox jumper, and I was like, "Oh, hi, Tim." And Tim said hello. And then I met him outside after Jockey's Live in Edinburgh, and he just said, I said, "Hi, Key." And he said, "Hi, Key." I'm like, "Oh, okay. Hello, Tim. You seem like a nice guy, but I'm quite scared of you, so I'm just gonna go over there to where I know it's safe, where there's like a really tall, angry looking man. He's not angry at all. He's Alex Horn. He's just a bit frazzled. He doesn't know where he is. He's getting on in years. Is that a spider? No. No, I'm going a bit lucky.
Big boy, big
Big,
boy,
big boy. I mean, it's literally just a little bit of fluff in my curtain, but big boy.
big boy.
Big boy. Alex Horn as a player, I really like. Because I think he goes through the most change throughout all of the sets. He starts off wearing the same outfit every game and being really strict about time. I mean, if you compare set one, game one to the bath game, to his bathtub disaster in set four, where he goes out on like the second round or something, it's either the first or second round, doesn't bother with a reprieve, and then just like has an absolute nightmare in Tim's bath. It's just the cinematic parallels between that and a complete mental breakdown is just moi. And he's
Yeah,
also just really nice. I love Alex. He's such a cool guy.
I'd love to
He's
meet Alex Horn.
I think you and Alex Horn would get on well. You two would be quite the duo. Um,
I'd love, I like to meet Alex Horn. I want to invite him on my podcast, but I don't have the confidence. I also don't have a way to contact him. I've never watched too much No More Jockeys, which is really bad considering the fact that,
play the game.
yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I've never watched it. I'm not saying that. I don't like, I've only watched like 10.
This will have to change.
Okay, I'll add it to the list that of other stuff that I need to watch and do
We'll
so
add it
Arlo
to the
doesn't
Ten
kill me.
Commandments. Come on,
Yeah,
we're missing a motto. We're missing a motto.
yeah.
I feel historically, and it has been recorded. I feel very strongly about this man. He is like he's the pinnacle of like people I want to be friends with, and in some capacity, like we're acquaintances. We're not quite at friends, um, but in spirit we're friends. I really like Mark. He's some one of the he's easily like one of, if not the nicest people I've ever met. I worked for him during the Fringe, and he was a legend. He's been really just constantly supportive of really anything that I do. Um, he's just a legend, and more notably, he's very soft. And if I had to choose any person in the world to have a hug with at any given moment, it would be Mark, because he's just a soft, fluffy guy who sometimes who sometimes, in No More Jockeys gets his dick out, or his dick gets itself out. And then
I've
the
not
editor
seen
has,
those episodes,
oh, have you
so
not? Oh, you're missing out on a treat. Because I feel really sorry for the editor who has to pixelate it.
oh
Um,
god.
Twice in one series, twice in one series. Twitter completely exploded when it happened as well, is the worst thing. Because, like, everybody watches the episode as soon as it comes out and then live tweets it as well. And then I wasn't one of the people who watched that episode when it first came out because I was at school. So I opened Twitter in the middle of my break and it's just Mark, what's wrong with you? What happened? Scroll up a bit. What the fuck? So I'm having to frantically try and put together the pieces of information and the screenshots that I've just been sent. Um, it's harrowing. I'll give it that. It's nightmarish stuff.
Um, doesn't Watto have that like 10-year challenge thing?
Oh, decade. Yeah, Mark does
Yeah.
decade. Yeah.
I want to join Decade so much. So it's like literally my dream to be in Decade. I don't know how to go about it. So I'm just kind of, I'll do my own Decade in my head.
All you have to do really is join. If it's just like join the Discord server and write down a couple of goals to hit in the 10-year span, and you're fine. You're grand. You don't really have to interact with people much on the Discord server. You just have to like write down some goals, and sometimes other people will talk about how their goals are going on. It's very supportive and it's very nice. It's a warm and very welcoming community. I think you'd fit in well with the people.
Yes. I have a lot of things I want to do in 10 years.
Yeah.
And to have the support behind that, and I think it's great. It's also a lot better than having 1 year to do it.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like pressuring yourself because 10 years is a lot of time, like in realities. Are you ready for? Do you want to start these questions?
Yeah. Let's question me.
Right. Okay. You've got 3 minutes.
Easy.
You were the last one to do it as part of the series.
Right. Lucky wee boat. Come on. Here we go.
Right. Okay. You ready for your quiz on Peter Capaldi's part of Doctor Who and No More Jockeys? Yeah. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go. Peter Capaldi's version of the Doctor is given which number?
12.
Well, yes, correct. Who has Tim Key played most often to his downfall on No More Jockeys?
Now to put stop.
Yes. Within No More Jockeys, what does Horn pour into his eyes in set 4, game 10?
Vinegar.
Right. Peter Capaldi's first appearance in Doctor Who was during the 10th Doctor's tenure in an adventure set in Roman era. What historical event happened in that episode?
The eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Finish the name of the mini game from No More Jockeys Kitchen.
Conversions.
Yes. What replaced the 12th Doctor's sonic screwdriver?
Sonic specs. Sonic sunglasses. Yeah.
Who is the only person other than Horn, Key, and Watson to ever appear in an episode of No More Jockeys?
Dinky Donk.
Yes. In the episode Heaven Sent, the Doctor was in objective referenced to as the last will and testament of a Time Lord. What was the name of the object?
Confession Dial.
Yes. Finish the Watto quote. It's awful, but it's
Lawful.
yes. In the episode Flatline of the Doctor, what the Doctor was unable to leave the TARDIS. Why?
Ooh. He was trapped in it. He was trapped in it. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I can say, really.
It had
Motherfucker was
shrunk.
trapped. Yeah. Oh yeah, it shrunk. Fuck.
What was the most often played category in No More Jockeys?
Oh shit. No more fictional.
Yes. In an episode of No More Jockeys, whom did Tim Key text to find out whether they were left-handed?
Richard Ayoade.
Yes. The husband of River Song, River was married to King Hydroflax. Which comedian TV presenter
Greg
played the
Davis.
role? Yes. Matt Lucas played one of the 12th Doctor's companions. What was the character called?
Nardole.
Yes. Which of the other incarnation of the Doctor did the 12th Doctor meet face to face?
The first
Incarnation.
Doctor.
In the episode Kill the Moon, what was the moon?
An egg.
Yes. Below the Line are all for reference by Watto as the Southern.
Sarah's.
Yeah, right, that was a time. Sorry, I would like to apologise. That was awful on me. I think you've kicked Kathy off the leaderboard.
What? Oh!
I'll say that.
Revenge.
Let me recount just to make sure. You got a second. That's really good. I think second's amazing. I think second's so good.
Who's in the lead?
Elodie.
This is a message for Elodie. This is a message for Elodie. If I go on this podcast again, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you. Okay? I will become first. That is a threat. Fear me. I'm impressed I've managed to kick Kathy off the leaderboard.
Yeah, you kicked Kathy. So the winners this year are Elodie, you, which is really heckin' cool, and then Louis. I'm proud of you. I think that's so cool.
Come on, big boy.
Big boy.
Boy.
Right, would you like me to go through the rest of the questions as I struggle to read any of it, what any of it says?
Yes, please.
What has Horn done after Tim Key says, hang on a minute?
Oh, hang on a minute. I've done the poo-poo.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Which British police... This is what I mean. I can't say basic words. Hold on. Give me a second, please. Just 2 seconds. Right, okay. Here we go. Which British
politician
does Alex Horn remember?
Matt Hancock.
I couldn't say the word for some reason, so I decided to get Google to say it.
Text to speech.
What was the name of the Doctor? What was the name of the first episode that the 12th Doctor appeared in, and why was it significant?
This could be difficult because there are multiple appearances that could have counted as his first. I don't think it's Deep Breath, because Deep Breath was his first official episode after he regenerated, so it wasn't his first episode. It might have been the Day of the Doctor. No,
it is. Hold on. No, it is. It is.
Yippee!
Sorry, do you see why I moved that from the start to the end?
Yeah, because it could have been 3 different things.
So the note that I have here is the Day of the Doctor. It was a 50th anniversary special. No, Peter Capaldi was in the episode, but was uncredited in this episode, and he only showed his eyes.
Yeah, I can see why you moved that one.
And this is another one that I moved. I don't know if that's because I couldn't be bothered reading. In the episode The Doctor Falls, the Doctor faces 2 of his deadliest enemies, as well as the Cybermen. Who is these enemies?
Missy and the Master.
Yeah. My uncle decided to put who act them, played by John Sims and played by
Michelle Gomez.
Thank you. I am so sorry. I think I need to go look in the mirror and ask what the hell's going on.
I think you need to go have a lie down. You need to go talk to your gran, explain yourself, and have some scran.
Have some scran. Having one of those. I'm really having one of those days. I'm really having one of those days. There we go. At least you bought a beep. Oh my.
I think you need the lucky Wiimote. The lucky Wiimote got me through that. Maybe this would teach you some English skills.
At least you beat Louis. That's what I was gonna say.
That's all I care about. Honestly, as long as I've beaten Billington, I'm happy.
Also, you really didn't have many questions left. Like, if you would have answered like another one, I would have been just stuck. Like, normally I have like another page to go through of questions, and I had like two to go with you. It gets past like 8:30, and it's not even 8:30 yet. It gets past like 8, and my brain just goes, I don't know how to speak. No more. Don't know. Not
Oh
sure.
no.
It's like I go back to like primary school where like the first teacher, no one learns how to speak, like nursery, and they first teaching you how to like speak. And I guess I just miss those sessions where they taught you how to speak. Because obviously I still can't.
Oh mate.
Oh no, the thing is, it seems like I'm doing it for the funny. I'm not. I'm actually struggling to speak. Yeah, thanks for being on this podcast and whatever this is. And
It's been joyous. It has been a fun time.